Hey everyone, it's Andre Luck here to share my video for this week where I'm going to talk about the next topic in my Brand Demand Expand series. I'm going to talk about demand. So last week we talked about brand, and that's really focusing on the 95% of your people that aren't in market. And then now we're going to talk about in sports, specifically B2B, now that you've gotten the 5% in market and you've moved them to create demand for your product, how do we make sure that we get them on board? So again, this is a topic that I've taken away from Refined Labs and like their concepts. So definitely check out some of their content if this is something of interest to you. But I've taken and made it applicable towards sports, and there's a lot of best practices that I think we could apply that could provide a lot of value to sports sales leaders out there. So I think a good place to start from a demand perspective and to understand if you have a demand issue is, has your sales team ever come to your marketing team or gone to your sales leaders and said, hey, these leads are terrible, these leads stink? Because salespeople know, and a lot of times they're like, oh, they're just being lazy, they don't want to do the work, but they know, and they don't want to waste their time with people that aren't going to buy. And so they know what a good lead looks like. And so it's our job as leaders, as marketers, and everything like that to understand from them, all right, what does a good lead look like? Look at our data. What leads move quickly through the sales cycle? Which ones stick with us the longest? And how do we attract more people that look like that? And then when they come to us, because of the brand we've built and the reputation, how to make it seamless, streamlined for them to go through the process, get the information they need, speak to a salesperson, or self-serve and buy online. Like that is the whole demand strategy and demand process. And in sports, we really complicate that. We make it very difficult, very challenging. It seems counterintuitive, like why would we make it difficult for people to buy? But we have gates and guardrails all over the place. And one is like we gatekeep a lot of information. Like I was a big advocate as a seller and as a leader to not show price because we can kind of control the conversation. But people aren't dumb, especially business people. Like they have the budget to buy whatever it is on our sheet anyways, because they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on other things. As long as they see the value, that's all that matters. So our tactics of, well, let's not show them a lower price because they might take the lower price option, that just means that we didn't show value in other areas, or that is the right fit for them and they found what's best for them. And that's not a bad thing either. So trying to sell people what they don't want, we complicate that. A lot of friction in the buy process. I've shared this example many a times, but when you fill out a form online, how quickly do you get back to that person? If you just wanted to buy tickets or a suite online, like many teams don't allow you to do that through a tool like Suite Pro, where you could just convert online and just buy your suite right there and move on with your day. They make you fill out a form, talk to a salesperson. Some don't even have a form. You have to call and talk to them and go through that whole process to see what's available. So that's difficult. And a lot of sports teams' websites, they're very much driven towards the ticket buyer, because like if someone got into the website, like they're looking to buy tickets, but if you're a B2B buyer and you're just trying to gather more information on how their businesses use tickets, like there's almost nothing for that. And even if you did just want to get ticket information, I've worked in the industry for 17, 18 years, and I've built these websites and like the monster that we've created, and I don't know how to navigate sometimes to like find, all right, where are their group tickets at? Where's this team's, suite information? Like where is their season ticket member information? Because it's like you have to go through all these links and click on this page. So the more we could just streamline it, make it simple, and I'm looking at tools that could do that for teams too, so that if a customer comes to the site, they could easily find the information that they want. But for now, it's very difficult. It's very friction full of friction for people to get to the information that they need. But a good demand strategy allows people to self-educate, gets them through the process quickly, and makes the speed at the sales cycle really fast and seamless. So where we get it wrong in sports, once we do get leads into the funnel, one of the challenges or the issues that we face is we don't do a great job of segmenting and prioritizing our leads. So what I mean by that, we get a business lead and we just treat it like a business lead. So for example, like a real life example would be, let's say we went out to a networking event and we had like a fishbowl where people could put their name in the hat or the name in the fishbowl to win a prize or win a signed item or something like that. We take those business cards and like, oh, there's businesses that had interest. They had interest in the item. They didn't have interest in tickets, versus if we create good content and people come to us with their hand raised and like they see the information, like those are much better leads, and we should be creating systems and processes around that. But we call all of them the same as if they're business leads. These should get more priority because they've shown intent and gone through the steps of like being a good lead, where those people that filled out the form or dropped their business card in the fishbowl maybe should get nurtured a little more, go through an email sequence or get added to an email cadence or something like that where they get more educated. If you're strapped for time and resources, like doing a good job of segmenting and prioritizing your leads. A lot of our content, I've said this before, is focused around price, discounts, benefits. And if you have good content to educate B2B buyers around case studies, problems that we've been able to solve, showcasing how clients have had success and seen wins, like that will drive more of the leads that you're looking for, and get them through the process more quickly. So like brand and demand, we talked a lot about this in brand, like they play really hand in hand. Like all of this ties into how quickly you're getting people through the process and how warm of a lead and how much more educated they are when they do speak to your salesperson. So let's say the salesperson, when they get this lead, even if the person has seen only like ticket information, but they do a good job of like taking a step back and talking about the problem, understanding the business person's problems and helping to solve those challenges and problems, they would have made that sale a lot more quickly, and those people would have got the process a lot quicker if on the front end we were doing a good job of educating them and giving them the content and information that's going to help them make a smart business decision, not buy tickets. If they were ready to buy tickets, they'll just buy them, and like that's good, but we need to create a process around them, to want to quickly get through the process and get to the information they need and speak to a salesperson. So a lot of times we make B2B buyers go through a B2C buying experience where we aren't providing them the content and information that they need. So things that you could execute and implement today, if you wanted to improve your demand strategy. If people have come through the process where they're in market now and they're considering an option like you, like how do we attract them, get them through quickly, and convert more sales? I think the first step, and I did this with teams, I've seen other people do it too, is create like a B2B landing page or a B2B hub. Because if, let's say we do ads or we do an organic post on like LinkedIn, where are we driving those people to get more information? A lot of times it's just the general team website or just a ticket page that has ticket information. Again, that's for people that are ready to buy tickets. But if you're a business person who's just kind of trying to gather information, all you're seeing is suites and pricing and packages and everything like that, but not really a use case on how you could do it. If you look at any B2B website, they don't lead with price. They have testimonials, they have current brands that work with us, they have video testimonials, case studies that people could self-educate, and some, like the more sophisticated, they're like, hey, if you're a salesperson, here's how you can use our product. If you're a marketing person, here's how you can use our product, and case studies to support it. And I don't think we need, if you're starting out, we need to be that sophisticated with it, but just create a hub where a business person could go on and see like, oh, they have these business networking events. Oh, they work with this local healthcare system to do an outing, and like here's the ROI that came from it. If I'm the advocate at a company and I'm saying, hey, we should do a sports outing, and people are like, why would we do that? You'd be like, well, they actually worked with XYZ healthcare company and they saw XYZ return on whatever their objective was. So having information on the page that's not too cluttered, a clear call to action of like speak to sales if you're ready, or learn more, whatever that term is, that based on the level of intent of the people that you're attracting, but information that is curated and content at this hub for a business person. I talked about it earlier. How quickly can you get to the leads? Like automate the follow-up process. Like if you fill out a form, you shouldn't have to wait days. It should be minutes that people are getting back to you. But let's say that you don't have the bodies to do it. We need to automate that process now. It's 2025, almost 2026. So whether that means, bringing in an outside consultant or figuring out in your current tech stack, like how does our tech team figure this out? Like we should have something where this person's getting engaged immediately, not days later or hours later. And I shared this before, a stat I saw was like, it's like 10x more likely you convert a sale if you get to them within like the first 10 minutes or something like that. So how do we create that system? Even if it's as simple as like an AI bot on the background that, just kind of nurtures them or lets them know, hey, we appreciate we got your information, and ask them a couple questions. Cool, a salesperson will be reaching out to you. At least you've engage with that person and they haven't moved on. But ideally you're getting to them in real time because they're business people, so they're busy. So let's say that someone gets to them in a couple hours. Maybe they're busy now and they're busy, booked up the meetings the rest of the day, and they can't get back to you later. Like eventually, yeah, maybe they buy, but we're really trying to get as many sales as quickly as possible. And like that speed process, like that's where sales teams achieve targets and exceed goals versus those that aren't. They're quickly getting people through the process, getting them the information they want. It doesn't always have to be with a salesperson. The more you could automate and streamline through education, through content, through marketing assets, through tech, and AI, like that's gonna just make it that much more easier for your salespeople to spend time with the right people and do what they do best: have conversations and build relationships. And having that alignment from the top, like we talked about last video, helps with that because now they're gonna deploy the resources. If you go to your executive and be like, "Hey, here's the opportunity loss that we have from like how long it takes us to get to leads. We need the investment to speed this up, or bring in a consultant that can connect all these different tools and tech stack technologies to speed this process up." Like they will pay for that if they know that there's an ROI impact. But if we just complain like, "Oh, our process stinks," like this is never going to work. Like you need to prove that business case to your executives. But once you get that buy-in, they'll pay the money if they know that there's the return on that that's going to help us close deals more quickly. The other thing that you can execute and implement today: start tracking what actually matters. I say this a lot for like sales leaders and like um, um, measuring their salespeople, not just on calls, but like what are like the actual quality metrics that show future success. Same on the marketing side, not looking at clicks and impressions. Those are good like early indicators of like maybe our creative's good or our content's good, but like is that actually leading to high intent leads that are getting deeper in the sales process? Is it taking these, how likely are these leads converting to meetings? Like what's the ratio of that? Are we seeing an increase in pipeline and sales from our inbound channels? Like those are the things that show that our brand is getting out there and we have a tight process to get people through, because they're considering other options too. If they're in market, they're likely not just picking you unless your brand's that strong. They're looking at other people as well. So if we can make that process seamless and build it for the customer experience, not what's best for our salespeople to get credit for more sales, then we'll have a lot more success. And as the sales cycle length, is that speeding up? So those are all the measurement, the metrics that we should be looking at when if you're looking to execute something today to improve your demand strategy. And the last piece, just marketing and sales feedback. So this isn't sales and marketing lack of alignment. Like there may always be that, but at minimum, there needs to be some sort of feedback loop on like what each party's seeing. On the marketing end, what do they feel is working based on the metrics they see? On the sales end, share what they're hearing. On the back end, hey, these leads you gave to us, these were awesome, amazing, and here's why. Or they didn't convert well and they weren't good leads, and here's why. And not being emotional on either side, but like truly just looking at, all right, our end goal is to get more opportunities in the pipeline, or X amount of revenue pipeline, or X amount of sales. How are we tracking towards that? And how can we work together as a team to do that? It's a lot easier to do. There's a lot of smaller teams, startup, minor league teams I'm working with. And like, because the nature of being so small, you can work real closely with your sales and marketing. Literally, like you might be sitting right next to that person, where in a bigger organization, you kind of start to get siloed, and sales is doing their thing, marketing is doing their thing, and there may be a leader that kind of oversees both of it, but it's really tough to bring all those parties together because there's a lot of motives, emotions, and everything like that. So we need to create a system and a process where both sides can share what's working and they can work cohesively together to build a strategy, and tweak the adjustments based on performance and what they're seeing. So in closing, to wrap up, the things we need to do: we need to have an approach to attract the quality leads that are going to stay with us a long time and spend a lot of money with us. Get to them as quick as possible. Automate that if we need to, and bring in people to automate it. Make it easy for them to find the information that they're looking for. They don't have to click through all these different sites and eventually have to talk to someone if they're just trying to fact find and get information. Speak in their terms and language, so don't talk about tickets, discounts, pricing, benefits. Talk about business impact, use case, ROI, case studies, things like that. Have that feedback loop with marketing so that you're sharing what's working on both sides of the table. And like those are things you could do very quickly to take these people who've moved in market, they're in demand for your product, and get them to convert to sales. So now once we have them as a customer, the next step and the last step in the brand demand expand framework is to expand them. So get them to renew with us, get them to grow their spend with us. So we'll talk through the strategies you could do from a B2B sports lens perspective to get your customers to stay with you and grow and expand and everything like that. So hope you all liked it. Be sure to like and share this. Like the page, like the video, subscribe to the page. But as I say to my daughters every day when I drop them off, go be awesome today, and I'll be back next week with another video. Thanks.